Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the zodiac signs and the coronavirus, part 2 of 2. And in this segment, I'm going to be talking about how the coronavirus may be impacting Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, well, as far as Libra goes, Libra, of course, is very balanced and even tempered. Libra can often go with the flow, even though it's not a mutable sign. They're often very active in terms of communication. They will find their way. They're about intellectual sociability. They're going to find their way, find a way to still socialize, I believe, even though they don't. They might be working with some provisions or stipulations as far as leaving the home. Due to this coronavirus, but Libra will still find a way to keep their charm and still be tactful and diplomatic and deal with others very well during as far as this situation goes. But Libra at the same time, given that they could be very ambivalent and indecisive, you might find them wavering back and forth on certain issues connected with the coronavirus in there, but they will balance their relationships out in most cases very well, even despite facing adversity. Libra, and again, despite being not being a mutable sign, they actually can be very adaptable, and Libra will still find a way to stay active as far as socializing goes and the exchange of ideas with others. And Libra, being very idea oriented, they might actually be able to formulate some ideas, really how to deal with this coronavirus situation. So, anyway, now going to Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, I mean, Scorpio can have very strong willpower, have very indomitable spirit. They will do what they can to deal with this situation. Scorpio just kind of plows forward despite obstacles and adversity, and due again strongly to that indomitable spirit and their will. The thing about Scorpio though is that they take nothing lightly. They certainly won't take this lightly, and Scorpio can be very skeptical and cynical by nature. So because of this, they're going to be more careful than the average person in terms of who they're going to get in contact with, and if people are being friendly to them during this time of the coronavirus, they might become exceptionally suspicious as to, well, what's the reason you're being friendly with me? What do you actually want? Do you want toilet paper? As an example, being somewhat flippant, but this could actually be serious because, as many of you may know, in the United States, it's like there's this big toilet paper crisis, and people are buying exorbitant amounts of toilet paper so they have some so they could beat their fellow competitors, in other words, other customers, in terms of getting them due to this coronavirus that is going on. And if Scorpio happens to get the coronavirus, they're likely not to share it with too many people during this time. Scorpio likes to be in control, and they're going to do what they can to control their emotions during this situation, and can deal with this very strongly. I believe perhaps more so than the other zodiac signs. On average, Scorpio can be downright unflappable and very composed in crisis situations, and I would expect them to be this way dealing with this situation. Now, going to Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius, of course, I mean, they're that incorrigible optimists, and they have a very strong ability to make the best and see the best in adverse circumstances. They are often very optimistic, very positive, even very jovial. I see Sagittarius making a lot of their jokes and connected with this coronavirus. Sagittarius has that what me worry philosophy and outlook, and they're going to likely just take this with a grain of salt. Now, Sagittarius, though, remember they're very expansive, but they're also about enlarging issues. You'll have some Sagittarius people that will try maybe to make this more than what it actually is because of the propensity to exaggerate and distort in some cases. But they will, Sagittarius may try to laugh this off, but they have to still, what I would say to Sagittarius, given that you're so jocular and jovial and you don't always take everything that seriously, you still need to take this with some seriousness, because this is a serious situation, and this is, this is adversity. This is, it's something that needs to be confronted with a lot of seriousness, and just be very careful at this time, and don't become to the point where you're over optimistic regarding the situation. But again, Sagittarius will often keep that perpetual smile on their faces even during adverse circumstances, and I expect Sagittarius to generally do that during this period. So anyway, we're going to Capricorn. Well, Capricorn is a sign that's very serious, of course, and they will, unlike Sagittarius, they'll probably most Capricorns will take this very seriously. Capricorn is often very averse to being whimsical or capricious. They are a sign that basically takes a lot of things to heart, and even though Capricorn can be seen as undemonstrative, even cold and callous, they do take things on a very serious level. They won't take most things very lightly. They certainly won't take this very lightly. Capricorn is arguably, they're the best planner of the zodiac. They're about premeditation, and I'm sure Capricorn is does what they can to get whatever ample supply it is that they need in terms of whether it's food or toiletries or what have you, in order to deal with this coronavirus situation. There's certainly not ones generally to wait to the last minute on things, and especially in a dire situation like what we're going through with dealing with the coronavirus right now. And Capricorn will find, if they're very business savvy and of all the signs, they might still find a way to carry on their business, even despite having certain provisions and restrictions, such as if there's any stipulations as far as staying home after a certain time. If Capricorn, if they can somehow work their business from home out of their computer, they're the sign that will be most apt to do so, more so than the other zodiac signs on average, because again, Capricorn can have tremendous business acumen. So anyway, and it's a sign, but at the same time, Capricorn can also become very despondent and melancholy. So it's important that Capricorn does stay somewhat effervescent, somewhat happy and positive during this time, because they can become very negative and pessimistic despite being very strong-willed. So anyway, now going to Aquarius. Well, Aquarius, is known to be like that universal friend. I expect Aquarius to still stay in contact with a lot of their friends even during this crisis. They're also known to be the innovators of the zodiac. I saw something online one time about somebody making some kind of it sounds fairly ingenious to me. They took like an ultrasonic vaporizer, and they had some iodine and added something else to it, and they made like some nasal spray or something out of it, I guess presumably to help deal with the coronavirus, if people are having some congestion issues or something, or breathing issues that are attributed to it. But Aquarius is a sign too. They're very humane. They'll be one of the ones that will be most apt to help others during this situation, whether it's donating or serving some kind of humanitarian causes, helping, giving their time selflessly, not asking for reciprocation or something in return for their efforts during this crisis. And Aquarius, they are all, and they can and I'm sure they have, Aquarius will have a lot of ideas in terms of dealing with this, because Aquarius is about new concepts and new ideas, and they're very clear. They speak in a very perspicacious manner and very readily understood. And if anybody can speak out about these issues and speak so in a very lucid and clear manner, it certainly would be Aquarius at this time. But the danger with Aquarius is the fact they're very non-conforming and rebellious, so I have to be careful to try not to go against the grain during this time, Aquarius, in terms of rebelling against things that are set up by authority. If there's any stipulations that state you have to stay inside for a certain period, you need to abide by them at this time, and don't go. It's not about going against authority and going against the grain, especially in situations like this where there may be strong repercussions for it. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. I'm back now. Last but not least, as far as Pisces goes, well, Pisces is the sign that's likely to make the best out of adverse circumstances. I mean, it's a mutable sign, of course. Pisces can be very malleable. They often are going with the flow. They often will mimic the behavior of those around them. It's good to mimic the behavior of those around you if you're mimicking the right things, and it's such as taking the right precautions with the coronavirus. Pisces has to be careful because they are the ones, I mean, they are, I would say, out of all the zodiac signs, well, them and the zodiac sign Cancer likely have the weakest constitutions of the zodiac. So they have to be, I mean, they're more susceptible to viruses and diseases than a lot of the other zodiac signs. Remember, Pisces is a zodiac sign that is associated with diseases that can't be eradicated or cured, and the coronavirus currently has no vaccine that can eradicate it. But again, Pisces is very go with the flow. The problem Pisces too, though, is their emotions can often be all-encompassing. So it's really important for Pisces to be around those right people for that moral support at this time. And because Pisces can often be very fragile emotionally, and they may need somebody more so than the other sense to help them cope dealing with the situation, and especially in the event if they actually contract the coronavirus at this time. But Pisces will, I mean, the thing about Pisces, though, is that they are the sign associated with isolation. So, and they often will go into their fantasy realm to retreat from the harshness of the outside world. So it may not be a strong adjustment for Pisces, but Pisces, they will probably, I see a lot of Piscean people basically dealing with this again, going into their fantasy realm. They could be at home playing their video computer games and going and reading some fictional novels. If it's Pisces as a sports fan, maybe playing some hypothetical sports matchups, like going on to whatifsports.com or Stratomatic games, simulated sports matchups, things of that nature. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.